So today is the Tuesday, the 23rd. Yeah, we are all here to participate this evening chanting. As usual, we are here to express our gratitude and appreciation to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and also opportunity to learn and practice the Dhamma. And this is one of the practices that we should be doing regularly in order to gain the great benefit in the future. It's like we have planted a tree, then we have to water it again and again, again and again, without lifting this tree out and checking whether the water has reached the root of the tree or not. If we take the tree out and checking like that, then rather than growing, tree will die. But we do not know whether tree will be survive or not. But our job is to watering again and again, again and again. And eventually, once the tree mature enough, then it will grow. There is a story of planting a bamboo tree. A bamboo tree requires at least for 5 years to grow. For 5 years, once you have planted a seed, you will not know or have any knowledge about this bamboo will survive or not. But regardless of that, you have to water it again and again, again and again, every day, without missing. So once about 5 years pass, then this bamboo will sprout every day. And you see that the bamboo is growing every day. So the 5 years of this watering doesn't mean that the bamboo wasn't growing. Bamboo was working as well. So our job is to water again and again, again and again without lifting the bamboo out of the soil. Once a maturity arrives, then we don't need to worry much. We don't have to water much. It simply grows. Same with the practice, the Dhamma. Do not wait until we find that our life is about to end. Then that moment, we will be rushing to find out whether the water reached the root of the bamboo or reached the root of the tree or not. Then we will be lifting again and again. We become agitated and restless and unable to wait for the results, and we rush. And with that rushing, rather than gaining the benefit of it, we lost. We lost our confidence, we lost our faith, we lost our plot of the track. Like there is a story comes in the Buddhist scripture that a monkey was well trained. Whatever the monkey was told to do, it does exactly what the master told him to do. And it happened that one day, master had to go to the city. And master needed watering this cornfield in the back garden. So then the master told this monkey to water it until the water reached the root of this cornfield, plants. And this monkey said, "No problem, master. Don't need to worry, you just go and do your job. I will look after these corn plants. And every day this monkey waters the plant. And after watering it, he was unsure whether the water reached the root of these corn plants or not. So this monkey would take the plant out with the agitation and anxiety and the stress whether it arise or not, whether reached or not. Otherwise, my master will be not happy. So this monkey pulls out these plants, each and every plant, and put it back. So by the time when the master came back after a couple of days, all the corn plants died. The master surprised. What happened? When I left, these plants were healthy enough. And I asked you to water these plants, and how come these old plants died? How did you water? Then the monkey took the master and demonstrated how he did. So he put the water first with a good care and then pulled the plant out. And with that, so all the plant died. So that's why it is very important that we work slowly, bit by bit, regularly, consistently, persistently, bit by bit, bit by bit. In order to gain the benefits, that's why, as we are engaging in our daily routines of a business, our family business, our own business, our own works, we are always caught up with these works. And we find very little time for ourselves. Now, taking a time off for 1 hour or 2 hours, attending these morning or evening chanting is like a part of these practices that we are spending our time bit by bit, and accumulating these merits for ourselves. Gradually we are shaping ourselves for the greater benefits, greater fruits that we are going to receive. So that's why normally people think that the chanting in the morning and chanting in the evening is a waste of a time. But actually, it is not just the practice of a devotion. It is not just the practice of coming and expressing or demonstrating our devotion to the Buddha. It is part of it, but it's not the complete of it. But it is a part of a training ourselves that during this time of the day, when other things comes, if that not necessary or emergency or required, we should be able to say no and then spend time coming and attending it. So we're training our mind to see which one is more important than what. And in the meantime, when we decided to come to attend these evening or morning chantings, during this time, we are not committing any unwholesome activities through the body, through the speech, through the mind. We are actually accumulating the good things, good merits, good deeds for ourselves during this time. And further on, during this time, we will have some Dhamma discussions and then a meditation. And during the meditation again, we may not be able to concentrate throughout the time, but at least we have the intention to do it. And now that intention is the key. When we are doing such with a great intention, our mind slowly changes and slowly settles. When the mind settles, then wisdom comes. Without the settling mind, without the concentrated mind, it would be very difficult to attain the true knowledge, true understanding. So that's why we are here every day, morning, evening, coming and attending these practices. This morning chanting, evening chanting is basically training ourselves out of a devotion. That's the first thing. And then in the meantime, with that devotion and the dedication that we have applied, it brings a calmness of the mind and accumulation of good deeds. And without knowing, over the period of a time, the compassion, kindness, the tranquility and the equanimity and the wisdom gradually growing in our hearts and our minds like the bamboo for 5 years under the soil, working hard. Same with our mind. Our mind also working in that way. And then eventually we can receive the great fruit of this practice. And gradually we see the Dhamma more clearly, and we see the benefit of it, and we're able to apply it in our day-to-day life. And that application of the Dhamma basically teaches us to live our life in a very simple way, in a disciplined way, and a training, our spiritual training. We're training our mind to be more resilient. We see that our mind is more mindful, aware. And we also see that when we do something unwholesome, that affects the whole day of our spiritual path, of our mind. And we feel suffering, we feel sad, distress. But whereas when we accumulate the good thing, like whenever we think about the chanting in the morning and in the evening, and during the chanting time we listen to the Dhamma discussions, every time when we listen, there is no suffering. There's only gladness, joyness, a rapture. Obviously, you will not get any material gains or any status, but you are escaping from the worldly problems that you're going through. And with that, our life becomes much happier, simpler, peaceful. And we will not seek any other thing that troubles the way of our life. Our mind will drawn towards the meditation, drawn towards the chanting, drawn towards the practice of a morality, drawn towards the compassion and kindness practices. Further on, our mind will be towards the study of the Dhamma. There will be an inquisitive mind to study the Dhamma, what the Buddha said about this, about that, how the Buddha found these teachings and how we should apply those teachings in our life. So these will improve, these will come. And whenever a situation comes or a trouble comes at that time, we won't be any troubled. Like there was a gentleman who once used to be a monk for a certain period of a time. And he was very fascinated with the Buddha's teachings and went on to practice the meditation for some times. But later on, somehow, he decided that he would like to give up being a monk. And after giving up being a monk, he married. And he married and he had children, 2 girls. And he continued his worldly life. Yet, he spared a time for the practice of this chanting and meditation every single day, in the morning and in the evening, even just for 15 minutes. And later in life, it comes to the stage that he got the cancer, bladder cancer. And he was admitted in a hospital for that cancer treatment. And that cancer was level 4, so he didn't have much time. So the doctors informed his family that he doesn't have much time, and asked permission to inform this gentleman. And his relatives, the children and the wife, also told the doctor that it's okay to inform him. So they informed. He wasn't shocked by hearing that. And after that, whatever time remained, he just meditated. His mind was sharp enough to bear those pains, and meditated all the time. So meditation became his good friend while he was in the hospital. When one of his elder daughter asked him that you're going through this very dangerous disease, cancer, and you don't have much time to live. Are you afraid of it? And his response was, no. And he never expressed any fear at all. Then, after a few weeks later, before his death, he requested his children to do the special puja, special chanting in a temple by inviting monks, ask a special blessing chanting for him as he requested. And after finished that chanting, his children went back to hospital and informed that we have done your wish of inviting a monks and do the chantings. And his face lit up, and he smiled and said, thank you. And very next day, he passed away. As the children were about going back home in the evening, so probably on that night, he passed away. And they were informed tomorrow morning. So that sort of a mental state we will get after we have really understood the Dhamma and really practiced the Dhamma. And we will not be having any fear at all. So that's the benefit. So that's, I thought that I would like to share with you all. Similarly, today, I got the news that one of our members who was admitted in a hospital just discharged. And her response was that she is so lucky to have learned the Dhamma and practice of a meditation. Although doctors couldn't find the cause of the illnesses, but stayed in a hospital for almost a week. But her expression, the text suggests that she was calm and blessed by the teachings and the practice of the Dhamma. And she texted saying that today she is going to be discharged, and thanks for the blessing chanting that I have done to her. So in connection with that, today again we will be doing this Girimananda Sutta, dedicating the merit to her for a quick recovery, as well as all the other members, those who are going through the painful situation and suffering, illnesses and sicknesses. With this chanting, may it help them to ease and free themselves. So the Girimananda Sutta is on page number 103 in a green book. We will chant only Pali. Next time we will do the translation of that too. Now we have just finished our evening chanting. Now this is time for the meditation. So we offer ourselves to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, to the teachers for the guidance and the security to follow the path to the liberation. So in the practice of a meditation, first of all, find a comfortable position and make sure that your back is upright and relaxed. You may gently close your eyes and do not press on it. And take a few moments settling the body. You may move around your hands, your legs, and your chest, simply to find the comfortable position. And establishing our intention to practice simply by inviting the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha to ourselves for the guidance and the security, and we offer ourselves to the Buddha and the teachers. And silently reflecting that I am here to practice meditation, to cultivate mindful awareness, to develop the clarity and find the tranquil and peace. In the practice, nothing to do, nowhere to go. And there is no expectations. All what we are learning is to be mindful of what's happening. Just to be aware. Where do we aware? So we are aware of the breath. And the breath, it can be in our nose or in our belly. Suppose if you feel comfortable with the belly, then bring your attention to observe this neutral movement of our belly as the breath comes in and goes out. And mentally making a note of it each time when you observe that it's rising, when it falls. Making a mental note is very important. And having said that, in order to make a mental note doesn't mean that we are taking control of the breath or we are controlling the breath. Breath should be natural breath, a regular breath, normal breath, as it comes in, as it goes out. We are not holding this breath, or we are not regulating this breath to feel this rise and a fall, or incoming breath and rise and a fall of the breath. But silently, just being aware and noticing when breathe in and breathe out, what sort of a sensation takes place in the belly. So this is the first task, to settle the mind with this object of the breath in our belly, and able to be mindful of this breath in our belly rising, falling. So noticing that how closely you can observe this breath rising, falling, or how long you can be with it. And suppose you find that your mind is not with the breath anymore and it doesn't know the rising and the falling but already lost into the thoughts, then it's okay. Do not fight with it, nor do not follow with it. Just acknowledging that this is there, this is happening, and far away from the object that we're supposed to pay attention to. This is the rising and falling of the abdomen. So in that case, leave the object, the rising and falling of the abdomen, but noticing the thinking mind, and mentally make a note, like thinking, or perceiving. After a couple of times of making a mental note, bring this back to the breath again, rising, falling. So this returning to the breath in the abdomen, rising, falling, is a practice as well. Actively engaging in our practice. This engagement actually helps us to notice the mind actually never stays with one object. It flickers, changes, moves. Now this time when you're observing the breath, it can be very tense. It can be very bored. So in that case, simply reflect the tension in your body along with the breath coming in and out. And this tension you can see as a form of how long and how short the rise and the fall takes place. Sometimes you may have to soften the shoulders, relax the face and the jaw. And if there is a confusion then what to do next, then again don't worry. Just bring your attention to observe that I am sitting on this cushion. So sitting, feel the touch, feel the pressure between you and the cushion. Warmness, tightness, and so on. Here again, we are not judging. We are not multiplying or proliferating a discussion about the cushion, about the temperature, and so on. But we are simply aware without any judgments. So this is how we practice. And eventually it comes to the moment that mind simply becomes tamed. And wherever we want to keep it, we will be able to keep it. It's like a trained puppy dog. When you tell it to sit, it will sit. When you tell it to wait, it will wait. So with this in mind, continue practicing until you hear the gong.